I've been thinking about flags a lot recently. Well, no I haven't. Flags make up about 0.2% of my daily thought patterns, but that's recently risen to 0.3%. I recently went over every flag in the UN and which ones I thought were crispy and which ones were still doughy, but the thing is, there's a lot more flags to go over. I mean, you've got state flags, city flags, county flags, racist flags, racist pride flags, and so many more. Today, we're going to look at 5 of my favorite flags that I've found sifting through the garbage dump of the internet. And by favorite, I mean we're going to laugh at 5 of the worst and weirdest trash I've ever come across in all my years of being insufferable for clout. Happy anniversary to the channel, by the way. So, back in the American Civil War, the country got split into the North and the South. The North was the United States that we know and know. To the South was the Confederate States of America, who left the Union because they were too racist. Which, when the US thinks you're too racist, is somewhat of an accomplishment in the same way the Darwin Awards are. Anyway, being a breakaway state, the Confederacy needed a flag to become the poster child for 60-somethings whose entire personality is tractor in a few centuries. They came up with this flag, which is not the flag you probably associate them with. This is because, from a distance, this flag looks damn near identical to the US flag at the time, which means the Union soldiers would waltz on into territory that had Confederate flags up thinking it was their own. This might have worked out for the Confederacy if they weren't all sharing one collective brain cell that was a hand-me-down to begin with. The Confederacy got steamrolled, so functionally waving territory with their flag wasn't gonna cut it. Enter the second Confederate flag. It's the flag you're familiar with, but on a giant white banner like someone doesn't know how to crop images. No one could ever mistake this for an American flag, the Confederates said to themselves, and they were right. It was instead mistaken for a white flag of surrender. So they went back to the drawing board, and a bit before the war ended, they came up with the final Confederate flag. Yeah, they just painted some red onto the side of existing flags because they were out of money at the time. So, next time you see someone waving the Confederate flag around, quickly remind them that they're not being historically accurate, and show them this graphical design is my passion-ass flag from the depths of hell. Or just punch them in the gut. That's valid too. Let's take a trip to North Africa, to the state of Libya. In 1977, a young upstart dictator named Muammar Gaddafi had just taken control of the entire country, and written a manifesto about doing so. This book, titled The Green Book, no not that one, is about his political philosophy. His political philosophy amounts largely to nationalism and weird fetish stuff, but it's his, damn it. So, to promote this book that he's spent so long on, in addition to mandating it be taught in schools and the usual dictator shenanigans, he fucking changes the country's flag to, quote, the design of the book. That is, he makes it green. It's nothing but green. Libya's flag from 1977 to 2011, when Gaddafi was executed by bayonet up the ass, was a chroma key. For a while, it was even an emoji, just green. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, there is something to be said of single-color flags in relation to Islamic culture. Several caliphates had single-color flags, but I'm not sure I want to give that much credit to a man who tried to catfish Condoleezza Rice. Liberia is an interesting place. It was formed by freed slaves from the Americas who went back to Africa and promptly enslaved the locals. One time Michael Jackson sung a song about Liberia, a song that attributes the wrong language to Liberia and features no Liberians, and he's revered as a god among men there. I could write an entire script about the weird quirks of this West African nation, but today I just want to point at some of their county flags and explain how something like this happens. See, when making county flags, the Liberian government decided to take influence from traditional African paintings and artwork. You know, that stark-styled look that's really eye-grabbing. I'm sure I put some examples on screen just now. So, what's the problem there? That would make a great flag. Well, they made it in MS Paint. This is the flag of River Gee County. This is the flag of Lofa County. They're not great. There's currently no plan to change these flags, and honestly I still like these better than most of the European tricolors. You can't say these are boring. You can say a lot of other things, but you can't say these are boring. New Mexico was the 47th state to join the USA. For the first 3 years of its existence, there was no flag of the state to speak of. They never got around to it. Then, in 1915, a World Fair was held in San Diego, California. New Mexico was there, and they needed a flag to let everyone know who they were. But they didn't have one yet. So what did they do? Well, they put all the necessary information in one place, right on their flag. Look at this thing. Just look at it. I'm not even sure what I can say about this piece of shit. It looks like an intern threw it together in an hour because an intern did throw it together in an hour. This, being entered into the World Fair, became the unofficial state flag for more than 12 years until eventually they came up with a real one. It looks nice. Most improved flag of all fucking time. Our last flag is special. See, I always hear people talk about how shitty Nepal's flag is because it's not a rectangle, and I never understood it. Flags can, and should, come in different shapes and sizes. Plus, Nepal's Mount Everest. The flag's a mountain shape. Kinda. It makes sense in my head. But we're not here to talk about Nepal. There are a lot of other oddly shaped flags around the world, but none more bizarre and perplexing than the flag of Zamora, Spain. Zamora is a city that has a long history. Too long to go into. But in short, back in ancient times there was a Celt named Viriatus who fought off Roman invaders to the land. At the top of his spear was a green band, and each time he took down a Roman army, he would make the Roman general tear off their red cloak and add a strip to his spear. Eventually, he got 8 of these from 8 won battles, and then presumably died of polio or something. Ever since then, the region he defended, the region that Zamora now resides in, considers this green band followed by 8 red bands to be its own symbol. How do they represent this in flag form? Simple, they don't. The flag of Zamora is literally just a bunch of separate bands on top of a flagpole. Because of how wind works, this usually results in them bunching together and looking all nasty. I have to give them credit for the unique design, but no, I don't. This flag physically does not work. The story behind it is cool, but if the story matters, then every flagpole in the city should have a Roman impaled on top of it, which, by the way, would easily put this in my top 3 flags ever. So, that's my 5 worst flags I've ever seen. There are more, like the proposed EU flag. That time the Taliban made their country flag a white banner, and whatever the hell this is, but I'll cut it at 5 for now. I hope you had a good time, and thanks for watching. Howdy, this is the outro that, according to YouTube analytics, not a whole lot of people watch. Thanks for 100 subscribers, and thanks for sticking around for a year. Hopefully I keep making these, unless I get hit by a car or something. I've got some big plans. I know I say that every time, but I actually do have some big plans this time. I'm going to be outlining a sort of thing that I'm going to be working on soon, and I'm also going to probably talk about Afghanistan next time. That's kind of what's rolling around in my head. Current events and all that shit. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.